All right, we're live. I'm Mike Golf's Oregon, and tonight I have my guest, Tyler Evans, Ty Evans of Ty Evans Golf. Ty, it's good to have you on tonight. Thank you for joining me. My first question for you is when did you last get out to play golf, and where did you go? How did it go? Walk me through it.
Yeah, so first, thanks for having me.
Yep.
It's honored to be on here. The last time I played golf, played yesterday, played at our local meeting. Actually, my friend shot his career round, his best round ever. He finished one under par, had three eagles too. So that was incredible to watch.
Three Eagles.
He had three eagles. Out of the four par fives, he parred the first par five, and then eagled the last three to finish it.
That's
But it was
awesome.
incredible to watch. I felt like I played well. I shot only seven over, but I that those three eagles definitely outnumbered my shot.
Yeah. Where was it that you played?
Poplar Creek. So it was a little, it was an 18-hole course up in Burlingame.
Oh, actually, I know right where Poplar Creek is. So I lived in San Bruno. I spent 4 years in San
Okay.
Bruno when I was in the Bay Area, and I drove by. I never played it. I didn't play a lot of golf when I was down there, but I do know where Poplar Creek is. That's pretty cool. So tell me about how you got into golf. How did you get started in golf? Who started you out? What was that process like?
So from what I've been told, I haven't actually heard, or I don't really remember, but from what I've been told, when I was born, I picked up a golf club and just started swinging it. Um, My dad would take me to the range every Sundays, and then we would go get Dunkin' Donuts after, and that got me
Nice.
into it.
That'll do it.
But yeah, so the funny part is I golf left-handed, but I'm right-hand dominant, do everything right hand. My family does everything right hand. So I don't know where the left hand came from. The only thing I could think of is like I would watch my dad, and then I would mirror it, and the mirroring would be for me left-handed.
I,
Um,
I, I was going to ask you if you started that young, did you just start out left-handed? Because I'm sort of ambidextrous. I do some things left-handed, some things right-handed, and in most sports I'm right-handed dominant. But because like I'll throw the ball right-handed, but golf definitely left-handed. Did you started out left-handed right away?
From what I've been told, I started out left-handed right away. I don't remember switching, but yeah, it's funny because just I'll throw a ball right-handed, right-handed. I'll do literally everything except swing a golf club and a baseball bat left-handed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for the golf aspect, I played when I was a kid. I would go to the range with my dad, and then I stopped when I got toward middle school, and then we would go, or I transitioned more to baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball and then basketball in eighth grade. And I stayed pretty much with those two sports through high school. I stopped playing baseball my sophomore year in high school to focus more on basketball. And then ended up playing 4 years of high school, came down to Menlo College, played 5 years, redshirt in my first year, played basketball down there, and then pretty much just sat around the house, didn't really do anything until COVID started, and then there was nothing to do.
Yeah.
And so I was just watching, like I was bored. I was on YouTube, couldn't go to work, couldn't really go to the store or anything. And I was watching it was like Michael Morris and Garrett Clark playing their Sunday matches. And I was like, this looks fun. I want to get back into it. And pretty much ever since there, I've been back into the game of golf.
When you took your break from golf, I think you said after junior high or right around junior high, we were talking earlier before we jumped on live about where you grew up, and then I think you said through high school you moved into the sticks, or you middle of nowhere was the way you put it. Is that why you dropped golf? Was there just no really readily accessible golf out in the middle of nowhere?
So we had a couple courses. We had a local 9-hole course that was about 5 minutes from our house, but up there it was just like a commute everywhere. It was 30 miles just to get to our high school, and then I joined a travel like AAU team um, toward the end of my junior year, senior year, and that was an hour and a half away. So we would have to drive down there 3 days a week. But yeah, basketball at that time was like my number one priority. I wanted to go to college, and I figured that was the best way to go in there. But there's a couple good courses up where I grew up. It's just very spaced out. It's not like the
What's
Bay Area where there's a course every 2 miles, it seems like.
what's the name of the middle of nowhere town again?
So the place I grew up was Arnold, California. I
Okay.
went to school at Bret Hart High School, which is down at Angels Camp. And Angels Camp has a pretty nice, I would say, nice public course.
So Arnold and Angels Camp, that's like west slope of the Sierra. Is it on the
It's
west?
yes, it's an hour and
So
a half east of Modesto. It's like
yeah.
2 hours from Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in
Where
the
did I
foothills
go?
of the Sierras.
Murfreesville or something. I went up there, Murphy's or whatever. I remember going up there
Yeah,
for
Murphy.
vacations and stuff. So on your channel, you have a lot of you show a lot of Bay Area courses, obviously, but then you also uh, dip up into Oregon, into Southern Oregon. So what's the connection? We talked about this before, but what's the connection that you have to Oregon? And I see you up here playing Oregon courses.
Yes. So a couple years ago, my family sold their house up in the Sierras. They were tired of all the snow being up there and shoveling the driveway and driving in the snow constantly. So they sold it up. They moved to the Medford Grants Pass area, and every so often I'll go up visit them, especially around the holidays. Actually going up there next week to go on a little ATV dirt bike trip and going up to Florence to go to the sand dunes. And from what I remember, there's a nice course up there or two, and we're hoping to go play that one.
Yeah, there's two. I think there's two right there in Florence. There might be three now. I think there's two I know in Florence. Sand Pines, Florence Dunes, something like that. And those are pretty fun. They're sort of a little bit link style, right? Because they're there on the coast and they have sand, somewhat sand based. But forgot to ask you, does your dad still play? Do you still play golf with your dad?
So honestly, that's the reason I got back in, or got into YouTube golf. It was my dad. Ever since I was younger, we would go to the range every Sunday, and after we stopped doing that, he hasn't really picked up the game of golf ever since. And so the reason I started making videos was like for me to like make videos so he could be a part of me golfing.
Hmm.
So I'll do that, send him a video, put it on YouTube, and then eventually I was gonna like stop, and then someone told me to keep going. They actually liked it, so I kept going with that. But he didn't play as much the last couple years, and now I don't know what happened. I think I hooked him into it because he sent me the other day. He sent me like 10 Facebook golf trainer ideas, like which one should I do? Which one's good for me? And so he's been picking up the game. I got him a for his birthday. I got him a Rapsodo launch monitor,
Uh-huh.
and I feel it sounds like he's been using it every day, or at least, well, you know the weather up in Oregon,
Yep.
like trying to use it as much as he can on the nice days.
Has he been in any of your videos? Most of your videos are like mine. They're mostly solo golf, but you have a few where you golfing with other people.
Yeah, I think maybe once or twice in my early videos he's been in there. But the problem, or most of my videos are in the Bay Area, and he's
Hmm.
not in the Bay Area. So that was a little difficult. But I think he might be in the couple, at least the very early ones.
Okay. I noticed also that your earliest videos, right, are looks like you started out doing like trick shots with ping pong balls. Who was the inspiration for that?
I think that was everyone's inspiration. That was Dude Perfect. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened, but I was like, I want to do this, and I was bored at my house for like a week, and I think I was a sophomore in high school, had nothing to do in the summertime. I was like, I'm just gonna go out and like do an hour or two of just some of these trick shots.
So you've had the trick shots. I know you've done a lot of putt putt golf or mini golf on there. Um, and now, but most of what you do is basically like course vlogs, right?
Yes. So the one thing I love doing, or like the one thing I always look forward, like when I play the course, is like to see what the course actually is. So like even though well I'm like a mid handicap golfer, but like I could like mentally prepare like what to do.
Hmm.
So the goal of my channel was pretty much just to do something like that, just to like provide like tips and like tricks or whatever for every other golfer to come on out and they're like, oh, like my first time playing the course, like I don't really know where to go from the tee or where to go for my approach shot. So that's kind of my main goal for my channel.
to help other people prepare for what they're about to experience on different courses. Do you have a
Yes.
do you have a do you have a what you think of as your home course in the Bay Area?
I would say my home course is Shoreline Golf Links. That's the closest to my. It's one of the closest to my house. That I have that, Poplar and Crystal Springs.
Yeah.
But for the value of the course, I choose Shoreline probably the most.
Is Shoreline the one that has the lit up golf at night?
That is Mariners Point. Mariners
Mariners Point.
Point's the
Okay.
9 hole right off the bay. Shoreline's an 18 hole. It's a lot of people know it by the amount of gopher holes on the course, but I still like it. I still enjoy that track.
By the amount of gopher holes. So yeah, I used to hit the driving range up Sneath Lane, and I up Sneath, up by the highway, or where the highway cuts across the hills there. I forget the name of the driving range, but that was sort of where I was spent most of my golf time in the Bay Area was there, and then run over to Sharp Park, because it was cheap, and somewhere in the East Bay, but I can't even remember. We hit a bunch of them, but not too many of them. That's pretty cool. Why did you make the switch? I guess you kind of answered it. I was going to ask why you made the switch to sort of from trick shots and stuff like that to more conventional golf vlogs, but maybe you answered it, right? You're trying to help other people prep for courses.
Yeah, so I took about, I don't know how long, probably like 5 years off, probably longer than that, probably somewhere between 5 and 10 years off. And not gonna lie, I tried doing some trick shots and I spent like an hour, 2 hours on it, and I was like, what's the point of this? I'm never gonna make it. And I just kind of mentally destroyed myself and just gave up on that.
What was the hardest part? What was the hardest thing to get back when you came back to golf? What was the hardest
Ooh,
part of coming back?
that's a good question. I would say by far the driver. Uh, that is tough. It was kind of funny because when I came back to golf, my chipping, my short game was probably the best part of my game, and now it is a complete disaster. Like it is by far the worst part of my game. But then
Were
I would
you
say just or because when you first come back, I would say you develop this like consistency. Like even if it's a slice, you always you're gonna slice it, so you
mhm.
can adjust to it. But then when you like start improving, that's like when you develop like a two-way miss, at least in my perspective. And the like I personally like try to play for like a fade or like even a slice at times, just so I know the ball will go left for me being a lefty. And if like I aim one way and it goes the other way, and then like mentally I don't know what to do. So that was a huge part or huge battle for me to get through in these past
what's
3 years.
your predominant miss now? Like what's your sort of your stock most consistent shot shape? Do you play draw, fade?
So I try to play a fade. So the problem with me low is I have an in to out ball flight or in to out club path.
Mhm.
So my miss is like a really bad push fade, and but
I
every
I do
once
the
in a while
same.
I hit like a snap hook. But
That's me. You just described me. So a question for you as another left-handed golfer. Um, do you feel like, because I get this sense that when I go play courses, especially courses that I haven't played before, do you ever feel like the course is definitely set up to trap a right-handed slicer? Like I find that
um,
that I don't have a, a lot of fairway hazards or traps or whatever are not really set up for a left-handed, not set up to catch a left-handed, fader of the ball.
I agree with that. I feel like there's a couple courses like that, like the Bridges in San Ramon. It's I'm pretty sure everything. There's a lot of dog leg lefts from what I remember.
Mhm.
So if you slice the ball, and there's a lot of trouble there. If you slice the ball and you're a righty, it's going to be trouble. And then the first time I played Moffett Field, I only could play a draw, and there's a lot of dogleg lefts, and that course gave me a lot of trouble.
Yeah, as a lefty for sure. Well,
Yeah.
I, I find that sometimes holes are clearly set up a certain way for the predominant right hand golfer. and sometimes it works to an advantage playing lefty, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the tee boxes kind of disadvantage you because of the way the trees have been cut or whatever, and you're playing left-handed. But I was kind of curious if that was just unique to me. Did you grow up? So you golfed younger, you golf left-handed. Were you a Phil Mickelson guy?
Um, I was a Phil Mickelson guy. I wasn't too big in golf when I was younger, but Phil Mickelson and obviously Tiger, they were my two guys. And but like now, like you watch, like if you go onto like YouTube and you just see every pro out there and just you see them their second, not their normal look on the PGA, but you just get to see their fun aspect, and
Yeah.
that's so cool for the younger generation.
Who are sort of the guys that you follow now? Which I mean, if you follow really, do you follow pro golf much now or still no?
I did a lot last year. I haven't really watched a lot this year. I watched the end of the Pebble Beach tour, or Pebble Beach event, but more so right now I'm more of a YouTube golf person. I'll watch the collabs between like the Bob the Sports guys and the pros, and like the good and the pros, and it's just good to see like good golf, but also still like the fun environment that it seems like most of like the weekend golfers get to experience.
It's a lot. It's certainly a lot more relatable watching these guys. Most of these YouTube channels, and it actually makes the pros more relatable, I think, as well, because, like you said, you're seeing them sort of with their guard down and not taking it. They do still take it serious. You can tell. Like once they get into the mode of getting ready to hit their shot, they take that serious. But the rest of the time, they're pretty relaxed, and that is fun to see that aspect of them. Speaking of pros, here's a question for you: if you were a Hall of Fame golfer with 15 majors, multi-billionaire, you had a $60 million private jet that you didn't pilot, you had a 155-foot yacht that you don't captain, would you spring for an Uber or hire a private driver?
Whew. Um, that is a
I
great
can't
question.
can't help but ask that question with the news as it is right now with Tiger.
Yeah, yeah. I think personally, ooh, I mean, I feel like even if I was that rich person, I'm not like a showy person. I would still own like a cheaper car. Like, so I would still like to drive, but like, I mean, I feel like I wouldn't say I would like Uber around everywhere. I would still try to drive my own way. But yeah, I just, I definitely want to go like the limousine route, like the fancy sports car route. I would just like take the more the laid back, chilled kind of version of myself.
I just can't believe that with the kind of money that he has, that compared to him, I'm dirt poor, and if I go out and have drinks or anything else, it's an Uber.
Yeah,
And yet he's makes this mistake multiple times. So I'm kind of
yeah.
curious how people see that and where they're at on that. So when you came back to golf in COVID, so that sort of like I ramped up playing golf a lot during COVID as well. I was playing maybe going out like 3 or 4 times a year prior to that, and maybe a couple of trips to the driving range, but nothing crazy. But then once COVID hit, like you said, it was sort of everybody's or a lot of people's way to get outside and to get out and do stuff. So my wife and I started golfing a lot. When you came back to COVID, I'm assuming were you gaming the same equipment? Did you go get fit? Did you get all new equipment or just rocking the same stuff? And were you rocking super old stuff like me or what?
So
Talk,
I
talk about your
actually,
bag.
yeah. So my bag, I think, I think I had Adams Golf, um, irons, driver. I think I had an Adams Golf kit when I was still in high school, maybe even younger. I think it was when I was in high school, and I just kept that along the whole entire time. Never really got fitted. But when you're a newer golfer, you don't really want to spend a whole lot of money on like, especially when you don't have a consistent swing. So I just was rocking with that for a little while, and eventually, as time went on, I did get fitted. I got like one club at a time, or like I started with my wedges, then I went up to hybrid, and then irons, and then last was the driver. But so my irons they're the ping. I don't remember what they are, but I play ping irons. It's kind of a scattered bag.
Mhm.
Callaway wedges, a ping driver, I did buy a 2 iron and a 4 iron. I bought the 2 iron literally straight off the rack just because I could never hit a wood or a driver really good. And I was like, I hit my irons great. I'm just gonna buy a 2 iron, which I don't recommend doing, but now it's my favorite club in my bag.
Yeah.
And that was the one club I did not get fit for. And but yeah, I also actually was watching Golf Perfection and his chipper. I ended up buying a chipper like a week or two before, just because the chipping yips I have are a disaster. So I bought that, and
How's it going?
hopefully, oh, I didn't think this was possible, but I somehow chunked 2 chipper shots yesterday, back to back. So that's how you know my short game is bad.
That's good. So you bought a 2 iron. I went out and I had the same issue, right? I went through that phase where I couldn't hit driver, I couldn't hit 3 wood, I couldn't hit anything off the tee. But I hit my irons great. And so I went and I bought a driving iron, and it took me a little while, but now it is an absolute weapon in my bag. And I love that club. And
Yeah,
and it's always like sort of the go-to. It's sort of a when when I need distance and I absolutely have to, thread a needle or hit a fairway, that's what I reach for, and I just leave the driver in the bag because too many bad things come into play when I pull that out.
yeah, and I don't know what it is about me or stuff, but like, I mean, it makes sense in my head, but I like it because like it doesn't go high and slice or like high and like hook like a
Yeah.
driver would. It stays low to the ground, which I think is like less spin, so it's like less likely to like go to disperse farther out. But
Mhm.
if you do miss hit it, you will know you miss hit it. It does not feel good.
Yeah, it hurts the hands. I hit a couple of those over the weekend, but you're right. That driving iron is mine's bent down to 16 degrees, so it's like a 3 iron loft or a 3 wood loft, and it just hits low bullets, like piercing bullets, and they roll out forever. Once the fairways dry out, which they're starting to up here, it just rolls out forever, and you get almost as much distance as you would with your driver. It just is a way different trajectory. And like you said, probably not spinning as much, so it goes a lot straighter. It just stays low, and just like drives through whatever's the wind and all that fun stuff, which you kind of need sometimes up here, and I'm sure down there too. But right.
Yeah, I'm sure up there in like the winter time, it's quite difficult.
Well, there's a reason why the handicap season ends at the end of November and doesn't start again until March 1st, right?
Yeah,
Because the courses suddenly get a lot longer because there's no carry or there's no roll. It's all carry. Everything's all carry, and the greens get really slow. Everything's tough. Everything's tough. The rough gets really juicy and thick and hard to hit out of. It can be pretty challenging, and everything plugs. You're constantly digging your ball out of the mud and cleaning it
yeah,
off to play it again. So it's pretty challenging, but whatever. If you love golf, you love golf, and you just go out and play. Right? You suit up and off you go.
yeah, absolutely. My dad hates it because he heavily relies on the roll, and on the wet in the wet winter season, it could be a little tough on his part.
Yeah. What's your best round? What's your low round?
So my lowest round was I shot. Well, are you familiar with the Applegate Golf Course up in Oregon?
No, I just know where Applegate is.
Okay, it's a 9 hole course, but we played it as 18. It's a shorter, I want to say it's like 5,000 yards. I
Okay.
shot one under there, but I
Nice.
don't count it because they had like a 370-yard par five.
It's a little
Um,
short, but I mean, it
but
is what it is.
yeah, but I mean, and pretty much all the other par fours are drivable. But other
Okay.
than that, I would say my best 18 holes was 3 over, I think a 75. On probably one of the harder courses in the Bay Area, the Corica Park South Course.
Okay.
And,
I, I've
um,
I played those courses um, before all the renovation stuff. I mean, so I was down there 2003 to 2010, and I played like what is it? Tony Lima's there, and I forget the other Metropolitan. Played
yeah,
all those courses that are kind of like bunched in there and stuff. I can't separate them in my brain though as to which one was which because I maybe played each of them once or twice. Um, but 3 over is pretty awesome, and that's always windy, right?
It's always windy. I was fortunate because the work schedule I have, I work Tuesday through Saturday, so I was able to go out Monday morning. And the bad thing was, I mean, I think I have it on my YouTube channel, but it's I play by myself, so I don't know how much people would believe about it, but it
Yeah.
was true. I did it. It probably
Yeah.
would have been better than if I got nervous and snap hooked one on 18.
So I happened to record my best round ever too. And the whole time I was like, I can't believe I'm scoring like this. And I was like debating about talking about it out loud and not talking about it. Didn't want to jinx it. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, I can't believe that I actually was recording when this is happening. And and I shot 4 over on my home course, the course that I play now. And I, I haven't I've shot 80 several times since, but I haven't even broke 80 again. So I was like really pretty happy that I like was recording and I can go back and watch it and say like, look, I actually did it. But you're right. People be like, yeah, you didn't. No, you're YouTube golf. You're cheating.
Yeah,
You're hitting multiple balls. But I don't know if you watch enough of and I've watched a lot. I've watched actually probably almost all of your videos, and it's the same with mine. If you watch all my videos, I'm not cheating. You've seen enough bad shots, and I just leave them in because whatever. It's just golf,
yeah.
right?
But I would say I had a couple rounds I shot under par through 9 holes, and then as through mid handicap golf, you shoot like 10 over on the other nine.
Yeah.
So I just wish I could put like those two together.
I I s- I started and I posted it. I started the handicap season going birdie birdie, and I just missed eagle on the first hole, first round. March 1st, and like you say, in true mid handicap, I'm like, this is really bad news for the rest of my season. This is not how I want to start. And it sure enough, it all fell apart. Shortly thereafter, I think I made it. I think I made it. Through 4 holes or something like that, and then it was just sort of everything just crumbled to crumbled apart. What is your handicap? Speaking of handicaps, do you
So
keep it
yeah, right now it's at a 6.1, but
okay?
when I play on camera, it's like a 10 point something, I would say recently.
Yeah,
Um,
camera ads.
yeah, but yeah, it's somewhere between like a 6.1 and probably a 6 or a 6.5, somewhere in that area right now.
Okay. So I mean, I'm up to 14-1 now, so you're considerably more advanced in your development than I am, which is pretty cool. Do you play competitions? Is that why you keep the handicap?
So I use 18 birdies. My
Mhm.
friends kind of started using that, and we'll use it to like share rounds, like play rounds together, and like keep score that way. And then
Okay.
it just automatically keeps the handicap with it.
Yeah.
So after I think it's 20 rounds, it will show you your handicap, and then I just keep looking at it after the round. And
Yeah.
but other than that, I probably wouldn't really use the handicap. Um, but
So,
yeah, so.
so you don't play in any competitions or anything like that?
I played in a couple scrambles or shambles around here, just kind of for fun. A couple I would play with, or I played, I want to say in three. Two of them I played with newer golfers, and one of them actually, well, the third one I played in, we got tied for first. We lost because due to a tiebreaker, which was the
Hmm.
lowest score on the back nine, and we lost that by one shot.
Oh,
But yeah, the I don't play competitive. I mean, I feel like I would, but like I'm not. I don't know. It would be like in a net tournament, and I just don't feel comfortable in that competitive setting,
hmm.
especially where
Okay.
with my wedge game's at. So
Would you have a chipper now?
I have a chipper, but if you watch my last round, you can see I can still chunk that.
Well, I think because we both, watch Matt Golf Perfection, you're also going to have to get a bunker.
Yes, it's so funny because like the times I wasn't chip or when I wasn't using the chipper, I would hit a flop shot, and I feel so much more comfortable over flop shots.
Really?
Like I was getting the flop shots to within 5, 7 feet, and then the chipper, I'm just like, just please make contact with the ball.
So is it a technique thing? I mean, you said you've only had it for a very short period of time, so you think it's a technique? Are you You trying to use like a full golf swing instead of a putting stroke?
No, so for me, it's all mental. Like I use my putting stroke, but then I get way too handsy and like I flick my wrist, like I like panic. Like I feel like I try to
Yep.
overcorrect things. So the last 2 years, I would say, speaking of handicap, I feel like my handicap for chipping is like a 35 handicap. But it's just like I'm just like when I not thinking about it, I'm great. I can do it, no problem. But it's like right when I get to the ball and like I feel pressure, it's a million thoughts go through my mind.
Do you think it's yips? Would you say it's
It is
yips?
definitely yes, yes.
Okay. You get like the full shoulder shrug and
Yeah, I don't want to say the word, but like
huh.
it is definitely that.
It's
It
that
is. It
word.
is. It is a train wreck.
Oh, that's too bad. The chipper will fix it though, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Look what it's done for Matt. It's bound to do that
Oh,
for
for
your
sure.
game.
I just got to get a little more practice with it. I still don't know. I know it rolls out a lot, but I still really haven't used it a whole lot. So just to see like how far I can even hit it, or where the best situation to use it for is.
Yeah.
Look forward to
I,
learning that.
I've been tempted to get one, but because I play bump and run, like probably 80% of my shots around the green is some form of a bump and run shot. And but I feel like I'm good enough with a pitching wedge to do it that I don't probably need to get the chipper. I haven't developed the full yips yet. So once I do though, maybe if I ever do, then I
Also,
will then I'll move on to
yeah.
the chipper or the bunker.
Also, the one thing I like about the chipper, it's so much heavier. It's like harder to like it makes it more friendly. What's the word I'm looking for? More forgiving.
Yeah.
When you hit, especially with the club, it's kind of like a hybrid in a way. So
Feel
you
like
have
you would swing it
more.
like a it would be like a feel like a pendulum almost. Like so you're not
Yeah,
you're just sort of really truly letting the club do the work of getting through the grass and making contact.
yeah. It's literally just like you're putting the ball.
Yeah. Do you have a heavy is your putter heavy?
No, it's light. Actually still use the putter from when I was in high school. I never
Okay.
got that putter switched, but it's pretty light.
Yeah. Okay. What is the best part of your game? I don't know if I asked you that
Right,
earlier.
right now, I would say I'm really hot with the driver. Driver's pretty good for me recently. Uh, irons irons are pretty solid. But I would say I contribute all this to like developing like a one-way miss. It's when I was missing both ways, I didn't know where to set up. Now I
Hmm.
just feel like, because I feel like I can strike the ball pretty well. I know about how far it will go, and every once in a while you miss hit it, but I probably just honestly the driver and being able to stay in play is just so key for scoring well.
It's that hurts because I had a really a really rough weekend keeping the ball in play. I think we played 9 holes on Saturday, and it had been a little bit since we played, and I hooked. It wasn't a snap hook, but it was definitely a hook. I couldn't even say it was an overdraw. It was a hook off the first tee into the houses, which is just like the worst feeling in the world. You're just gonna kill somebody. You're yelling for. You hope you don't hit anybody. And then on that first hole, so there's an OB ball, and then my next shot I lost. I hit it up by the green and lost it in like tall grass, and so I lost two there. I ended up hitting two out of bounds balls, two water balls, and a lost ball in 9 holes.
Ooh.
And
Well,
then,
there,
yeah, it was a pretty
a
nightmare 9 holes.
couple,
Yeah, pretty
a
nightmare nine
couple
holes.
months ago, I was flying around. It was I'm drawing a blank on the course, but it was north of San Francisco, and I was playing pretty well in the front nine. Got to 11, and I pulled out the 2 iron, and trees on the right, houses on the left, and sliced it right into the house. I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit a provisional. Pulled out again 2 iron, and like I'm just nervous. Like anywhere on land, I'm happy with. Just don't hit the house. Hit the same exact house. I think the same spot. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm getting off this hole.
I'll drop. I'll drop up
Yeah,
there. I see Sydney in the comment. Hey, Sydney, what's up? Also, another lefty. Look at that. All lefties here.
it's a great group.
That's good. Hey, do you hit your 2 iron off the deck, or is that only tee only?
So when I go off the tee, I'll tee it up, but I'll tee it pretty low, and I'll use it. I mean, I'll pretty much use it if I had to. If I do like a one club challenge, I'll use a two iron for everything.
Yeah.
I'll hit it off the deck, even in rough, depending on the type of rough. But I'll use it literally anywhere, tee, off the deck, even putt with it a couple times.
Okay. That's that driving iron I have is I've hit it off the deck a couple times, but I'm not super comfortable hitting it off the deck. So it's pretty much tee only. It's really stiff. And so it's a little hard. It's a little hard for me to hit it off the deck, but um maybe I should just work on that. That's what I got a hybrid for instead.
Yeah, I have a. It's funny. The hybrid. I don't know what it is, but it looks so much smaller, and I don't know what it is. I can't hit it anymore. It used to be my best club, and now I'm just happy to make contact and they go over 100 yards.
Yeah. Sid, I hope you're feeling better. It's so Sydney joined my brother-in-law and I in a competition. What it was a weekend ago, I think a week ago, and yeah, it was a week ago Sunday, and he showed up and he was really sick, and I asked him what the symptoms were, and he said, "Well, I had a fever of like 102.3 last night."
Oh, jeez.
So nobody can ever accuse him of not being not toughing it out, but seeing him actually online is good news that he's at least awake, conscious, I think. So you we talked earlier before we got online, you spent time playing basketball, high school, and then went and played in college. What was it like making the transition from high school to college basketball?
So pretty much when I was playing high school, I was in the middle of nowhere. I was always one of the better players out there. And then it was just like I remember the first day I came down for a recruiting trip and I like went to practice with the team and like everyone was making shots, everyone was doing this, everyone was like, is this really what college is like? And it got so in my head, like, do they even want me to be here? But eventually, it just like building up that confidence. It just took some time, and the it was just everyone. It was just so much better than that high school, from what I was from what I remember, and just like being able to adapt to them. They're all their skills were better, their communication was better, their energy, just like learning from them, watching them, getting to know everyone, just made me. I feel like not only a better player, but a better person.
What position did you play?
I was more of a shooting guard and small forward. I was, coming into college, I was 6'4", 150. So not gonna bully too
not
many people around.
not banging around down below.
No, but I did put on like 20 pounds in my first two seasons. Out the first season, we did have 16 years in my position, so that helped for me sitting out. And
Hmm.
then put on 20 pounds, and I wasn't the quickest person or strongest person, but it got me a little more competitive out there.
Is Menlo, is that what is that, NAIA, or is that D3, D2?
So they used to be a junior college, and
Yeah.
then they went NAI D2 when I started there, and then my junior year, I want to say sophomore year, they transitioned to NAI D1, and then now they moved into the NCAA Division Two.
Okay. So at that time, NA, I know like you can offer like some levels can offer athletic scholarships, and then others are limited to like leadership scholarships or academic scholarships. Where were that? Was it an athletic scholarship, or was there anything like that?
Yes, so as from what my understanding is, Division threes can't offer athletic scholarships, but I was fortunate enough to get an athletic scholarship and academic. Just
Hmm.
well, that was a huge reason for me going there because that school at the time I think it was like $55,000 a year, and I not
Yeah.
the richest person in the world, so
Yeah.
a scholarship definitely helped for that and got me into college. So I'm very thankful for that opportunity.
Yeah. That. So are you still in contact with the guys that you played with?
Not a whole lot. One of the persons I'll play on the weekend with, he was my teammate. And then everyone else just pretty much moved away. They either traveled outside to a different part of California or to a different state. But every once in a while, I'll get a message from someone.
Okay. What schools would be in that division or in that league? Like
So when I was
just so
playing,
I have a sense of like who else was that level.
yeah, so when I was playing, we would go up to Southern Oregon, but they weren't in our league. Um, there was William Jessup, which was up in Sacramento, a good amount of teams in Southern California, um, San Diego Christian, and then a bunch of teams I would say around like Westmont in I can't remember, but around I would say Orange County,
Hmm.
and we had Arizona Christian, which was our only out of state team. But I feel like, well, I'm not sure what it is now. I think then they moved up to Division Two. I know one of them is Hawaii team, Hawaii Hilo. I don't remember which team it is,
The Hilo
but
campus
now
of
they have a
University of
different
Hawaii.
name. Yeah.
Lots of time on the bus.
Bus, we were fortunate enough to be like 30 minutes from the airport, so we we would take the bus up to William Jessup, but all the other games we would take the plane. So
Okay.
that was nice.
What's your favorite course to play up in Oregon, by the way? Speaking of William Jessup, I know is
Ooh.
not there, but
Um,
talk about Southern Oregon. And I know that you've played because I did a video of it, and then I saw that you did a video of it like not too long ago. Eagle Point.
yes. So I was a toss up for me. I haven't played a whole lot of courses. I played three, the three big ones in around the Eagle Point, Medford area.
Yeah, what is it? Centennial.
Centennial. Yeah, Centennial is a nice course. It's just long.
Hmm.
There's Centennial, Eagle Point, and what was the other one? Um,
There's one that's kind of out towards Eagle Point. That's kind of out in the country. There's nothing around. It's
yes,
a nice looking
all I
course.
remember is a beautiful course. I'm just drawing a blank. All I remember is the one hole I hit in the water like 5 times off the tee. And there's a highway to the left.
Yep.
I want to say it's like something ridge.
I was thinking it was like
I don't know.
rock. I think you're right. Maybe it's like Eagle
Yeah,
Ridge or something like that, or Apple Ridge or Orchard Ridge. There's an orchard. I know there's like whatever it is. I know which one you're talking about.
it's something like that. But that course is so beautiful. I don't think you can go wrong with any of those three courses. Um, but if I had to choose, I would say that ridge course, the one I can't remember the name of, which Stone Ridge. Stone Ridge is the
Stone.
course.
Yeah, there you go. There you
That's
go.
what it's called. Stone Ridge. I would choose that. Just the layout there is beautiful. Other than that one hole, I think it got like a 15 on or whatever it was. But it is such a beautiful course. The front nine has some of the elevation changes. It is just incredible. But you
Yeah.
can't go wrong with any of those three courses in that Medford Eagle Point area.
I've only played down there. I went down there. My wife was down there for work, and so I just went down for a couple nights and stayed with her. And I went out to that Rock Ridge just to hit the range. I just had like an hour or so, so I just went out there and hit the range. And it's beautiful, right? You had like the views of the mountains, and it's a huge range all to yourself, which was really great. And then the next day I played that Eagle Point, and I played it with a couple that live out there and had a blast on. That's a really cool course. I'm not so much into all the houses and stuff on the course, but it still is a really nice course, pretty fun. But I want to get down there and play like a little bit further north, north of Grants Pass up at Med in Roseburg, play Bar Run and some of those courses. But I didn't even realize. I think you posted at least one round from somewhere in Grants Pass, or maybe that's the Applegate course. Like, I don't. That's like a total blank spot in terms of my golf knowledge. Like, what's there? So, are there
So
any? What's there?
that's a good question. There's a country club there, which I'm not sure how most of the country clubs work up in Oregon, but they get the public able to play like during the twilight time.
Hmm.
So I'll go play there. I didn't record that out of respect. I didn't feel comfortable recording there. But that course is beautiful. Like the front nine's like well relatively flat. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like most of it's flat. And the back nine's like where all the hills, the views. It's like the back nine's more mountain golf.
Okay.
So that was nice. But the courses I played up there is Applegate, which is the shorter 9-hole course. And then there's, again, I'm drawing a huge blank, Dutcher Creek.
Dutcher
Dutcher
Creek.
Creek, which is an 18-hole course. It's longer than Applegate, but still on the shorter side. The first hole is a 375-yard par five with water on the left. But
Okay.
then it
Is
gets
that
to,
where's Dutcher Creek at? Which town is that in?
it's in Grants Pass.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I don't really know how to describe it,
Yeah, no,
but
that's fine.
it's in Grants Pass.
Close enough. Like Grants Pass area is close enough. I know close enough for me. I just was curious like what's down there. And to answer your question, I think probably the closer you get to Portland, the more locked down the clubs are, the country clubs. Like my club is a quote unquote country club, but it's open for public play. The biggest drawback is if you're public play, I think you can reserve like maybe 4 days out, whereas members can reserve a week out. And so there's a lot of times, depending on the day and time you're looking for, there's not availability, but they do allow it. And I would guess like if Grants Pass, there can't be that many golfers out there. So they probably do, just to keep the mowers going and keep gas in the mowers, right? You might as well pick up a few
Yeah.
public rounds here and there. I would guess, but I don't run a country club, so I don't really know.
Yeah, like I'm gonna play that. I play that course twice, I think. But yeah, I feel like it gets at times busy, but I don't know. It could just be the same people coming in and out.
What's the favorite course you played in the Bay Area?
Ooh, right now it's a toss up. I have three courses that I think are that are. I just don't know how to rank them because they're different style courses, I want to say. But the first one's the Wente Vineyards. So that I feel like that's like a great like birthday round. It is expensive,
Yeah.
but it's like a great birthday round. Like one, have to go out there at least once. Just preferably not in the summer because I did almost run into a rattlesnake. So that was terrifying. Thought I was gonna die. So that's
What's expensive? Because I mean, I'm like there are very few $100 rounds really close to me, and I know Wente is well north of that. But so just for comparison purposes, what is expensive in the Bay Area?
so this I wouldn't say it's the most expensive that I've seen for a public course. But it was in the 200s, I want to say. But I use Golf Now for pretty much all my bookings, and I was able to book a Monday where I wasn't working, and a hot deal, and I had a couple discounts, and I was able to play there for like $95.
That's
And
that's more like it.
it's just such a
even,
nice course.
even that's expensive, but that's more like it. Like if I wouldn't
Yeah,
have spent $200 outside of like some really nice clubs and probably mostly private clubs that I couldn't get on anyways up in Portland for $200, I'm going over to some of the resort courses in Bend, or that's that's more than I would pay as a resident to go play Bandon.
yeah.
So so there's
It was
always
like
that.
the first time I played Centennial. My dad was with his work friend. We were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go play Centennial," and told me to look up the to reserve a time. And I was looking it up. And I was like, "What? Like $55 to like walk? Like what is this?"
Is
And
this course even
but
worth it?
yeah, and it's by far one of I would say Centennial. Those three courses that I mentioned before are probably some of the best courses I've ever played.
Hmm.
The the Stone Ridge might not have been in the best condition, but the layout of that, just because it was I think it was in the winter season, the rainy season, but by hands down, probably one of my favorite layouts.
Okay, so
And
you said your three courses in the Bay Area. Wente was one. What are the other two? You said there's three that are kind of rattling around there. You don't know how to rank them.
yes, the other two, I would have to say Poppy Ridge, the
Okay.
new redesign up in Livermore. Um, I think Livermore, or yeah, both of those courses are in Livermore, Wente and
Hmm.
those. So if you're in Livermore, you have some great options up there. That's more link style, wide open. And the other course is also the new redesign in Hollister, San Juan Oaks.
Okay. I was gonna say both of those, Poppy Ridge redo and this I've watched several San Juan Oaks videos lately too. Those two courses actually they look really fun. They look great.
They're so much fun. The best part, I mean, I think I would have to choose San Juan Oaks just because that's in Hollister, and like compared to all the other Bay Area cities, it's not as crowded. So
Hmm.
you could go out there, you could be like, you might be lucky enough to be a two thumb. Or when I had one of the first few times, and I didn't see anyone out there. I think this was a Sunday. It could have been a Monday. But I didn't see anyone out there until like I got onto the 13th hole, and then there was a group like maybe 5 holes behind us.
That's the best. And Hollister's like what, like 40 minutes south of San Jose? Is it an hour south?
It's an hour from where I live, and I live about, I would say, half an hour from San Jose,
Okay.
but it's not too far. I feel like if you're in the San Jose area, it's a great place to go. I feel like it's not too far out of the way, but I can't talk much because I grew up half an hour away from, or 30 miles away from my high school,
Yeah.
so I'm used to driving.
Yep.
But
I
if
think
you're in
if
that
you're
San Jose area, definitely gotta
yeah.
check it out.
So okay, so let's help you rank them here. So I think you actually just say that San Juan Oaks might be number one. I don't know. So what is the price difference between San Juan Oaks, Wente, and Poppy Ridge?
Um, I know
Not
Wednesday is
including
by
not
far
including your discounts. Not including your discounts.
yeah. Wednesday by far is the most expensive. I haven't looked at Poppy Ridge recently, but if you are a NCGA member, you do get it's a great discount. I believe it's one of the more affordable courses in the Bay, but I'm not an NCGA member. But I want to say that on a weekend rate would be 155 with a cart, which is not bad for how elite that course is. And I think price wise, I want to say San Juan Oaks is cheaper, I, but I someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I with the drive and the price, I would say San Juan Oaks would be number one, just because you could go out there and you could be completely by yourself.
Yeah.
But again,
So
you
if you
can't go wrong with it.
if you took away price, it would still be San Juan Oaks.
If you take away price and like say you're the only one on the course, I think I would have to choose Wente, honestly. I love that. I love the mountain golf version of it. I grew up playing mountain golf. I mean, I love both design or all the designs, but if you ask me right now and again, if you ask me tomorrow, my answer might change. But as of today, I would say Wente is the number
And
one if you exclude
okay.
all the prices.
Okay. That's good. Well, I think watching videos of all three of them, they're all pretty awesome looking courses. And when I ever eventually do drag my butt down to the Bay Area, I would plan to play at least one of those three courses, because they just look different than everything I get to play up here. They're pretty amazing. And you may have to add one of those Florence courses to your list after you play, but I
I'll
doubt it.
try. I
But I
think
doubt it.
I added it a couple years ago. I played one course. I tried a challenge. I played the Sandpiper? Sandpipes?
I think it's Sand Pine. I believe it's Sand Pines. Sand Pines.
Sandpines?
I think it's Sand
Okay.
Pines, and it may have been the one that was renamed. I forget.
Okay.
There's like Florence Dunes, Sand Pines, something else. I
I
don't know
know there's
which one.
one by a hotel too, or not a hotel by the casino.
Okay. Okay. Well,
But
hopefully you pick the one that's good.
yeah, I played the Sandpines one. I tried a challenge. And I was I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to play one club every single hole. So for example, one hole I played a 60 degree, one hole I only played a driver, and I mean, for how I played, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting, but it was a fun little challenge.
Which club was the best?
Definitely a mid iron. Um,
Yeah, I would think.
because driver I used on a par five, but I hit it off into the rough the first time, and that came out nowhere. Don't ever try to hit a driver out of the rough; it's just never gonna work. And then I think I ended up missing long and might have gotten a bunker or had a very awkward chip shot, and it was just weird. But it was fun to try. Just it was interesting.
Well, speaking of challenges, what do you have planned next for your channel? What sort of do you have anything planned next for your channel? Is it just sort of record and make them as you feel moved to do so?
So that is a great question. I think out looking in or down the future, out of all the courses in the Bay Area, I think I have I have Dublin Ranch. I haven't played yet. All the Santa Clara, Monterey courses I haven't played yet. Paso Tiempo is on my list, but that round I think is in the 400s now.
Hmm.
So that course is expensive. Maybe one day I'll be able to play there. But just recently, I would say I started like a little series. I got bored and like a shower thought. Just thought of like, oh, is this going to be a good idea? And thought of myself like, oh, I'm gonna try like a dart or fart type thing.
I
So I've
saw
been
your
making some
shorts all that
videos.
said that.
Yeah. So my goal is I was going to try to do 30 days, but I think I'm going to be running out of content in the next couple days or so. But I thought that was fun. Um,
Have you
and I
had
put in,
more darts or more farts?
ooh, for sure more farts, definitely. But I put in ChatGPT of like, is this a good idea? And it was like, yes, surprisingly, this is actually a really good idea. And then I've been trying to use that little fun aspect of my game.
Yeah. Yep. We're just coming out of the really crappy weather, and so I've done a lot of content in here, like inside over the wintertime. And it's probably time for me to start getting out and recording some actual on-course stuff. And I think my next deal is I've got within about 45 minutes to an hour of me, I've got nine. There's nine. There might be more, but I've counted nine-hole courses, and so I'm going to hit all the
Okay.
nine-hole courses. So I like recording 9 holes. 18 gets to be a little bit much, but nine is a nice point to stop.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's nice up in Oregon because at times, especially when I first started, when I was playing, I was recording. I was like, I don't want to slow down pace. Like, it's jam packed. There's always people right behind me. I don't want to be this person.
Yeah,
But I'm sure up in Oregon when there's not, I mean, depending on the course, because like some of the nice courses, there's always a lot of people.
it is. It depends on the
But
course. It depends on the time of day and the day of the week and all of that. And if you get your system down, I walk. I think the only time I'm in a cart is like for a scramble or something for a nonprofit. So I walk and I've got the everything set up on my cart and you just walk up, hit record and off you go. So it's fast and I have no issues keeping up with anybody. And but certainly if I feel the pressure, like I'm slowing anyone down, it gets to you. I think everyone who records content on the golf course goes through that at some point because you don't want to be, like you said, you don't want to be that guy. But at the same time, you're like, okay, I'm here. I paid. I have a right to play and record and do my thing as well. So that's kind of it. I'm gonna make those nine hole round course vlogs, hopefully starting soon here and start putting them out. So, but look, it's been about an hour, so I've yacked you up for an hour, and I certainly appreciate you coming on. I want to encourage anyone who's watching this live or who sees this later on video on demand to go subscribe to Ty Ev's. It's Ty Ev's Golf, right? EVS
I
Ty
have
Ev's
golf, yeah.
Ty Ev's Golf, and catch his content down in the Bay Area. He may resurrect the ping pong trick shots. We'll see ping pong ball trick shots or something like that. But it sounds like he's got some pretty cool courses still yet to play, and hopefully we'll be recording on them. So, any last passing wisdom or comments, Ty?
I just want to say thank you for having me. It's an honor and joy to be here,
I don't know about
and
honor,
can't
but
wait
it's
to
fun.
see. And I can't wait to see your 9 hole vlogs coming up.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I will hopefully be recording the first one in the next week or so here, and maybe sooner. But I appreciate it. So, all right, thanks for watching. Leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe to Ty Ev's Golf. Thank you, everybody.